Welcome to this manifesting meditation for a fresh start. Today is an opportunity to release the weight of the past and open yourself to new possibilities. No matter what challenges, disappointments, or setbacks you may have experienced, this moment belongs to you. It is a chance to reconnect with your inner power and create space for positive change. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to become fully present. Let your body relax and your mind become calm. Imagine that with every breath you take, you are letting go of old worries, limiting beliefs, and negative thoughts. Feel the tension leaving your body as you settle into a state of peace and awareness. This is your time to focus on yourself and the life you wish to create. A fresh start begins in the mind. Before anything changes in the outside world, a transformation takes place within. Your thoughts shape your perspective influences your actions, and your actions help create your reality. When you choose to focus on possibilities instead of limitations, you begin to shift your energy toward growth and opportunity. Manifestation is not simply about wishing for a different life. It is about aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the future you desire. Imagine yourself standing at the beginning of a new path. Behind you are old experiences that have taught valuable lessons. Ahead of you is a future filled with possibilities. You do not need to carry every burden from the past into this new chapter. Visualize yourself placing down the fears, doubts, and regrets that no longer serve you. Feel how much lighter you become as you release what is holding you back. Now, picture the life you truly want to create. See it clearly in your mind. Imagine waking up each morning feeling motivated, confident, and grateful. Visualize yourself achieving your goals and living in alignment with your values. Notice the details of this vision. Where are you? What are you doing? How do you feel? The more vividly you imagine your desired future, the more real it begins to feel within your mind. Allow yourself to experience the emotions connected to this vision. Feel the joy of success, the peace of fulfillment, and the excitement of new opportunities. These emotions are important because they help strengthen your connection to the future you wish to create. Manifestation is often described as becoming emotionally aligned with your goals before they fully appear in your life. When you cultivate positive emotions, you create an inner environment that supports growth and transformation. As you continue to visualize your fresh start, remind yourself that you are worthy of positive change. Many people struggle to manifest their desires because deep down they question whether they deserve happiness, success, or abundance. Let go of those doubts. You are worthy of new beginnings. You are worthy of growth. You are worthy of creating a life that reflects your highest potential. Think about the person you want to become. Imagine yourself acting with confidence, resilience, and purpose. Notice how this version of you responds to challenges. Instead of giving up, they keep moving forward. Instead of focusing on obstacles, they look for solutions. Instead of doubting themselves, they trust their abilities. The more clearly you connect with this future version of yourself, the easier it becomes to bring those qualities into your daily life. Manifestation also requires trust. Sometimes life does not unfold exactly as we expect, and progress may seem slow. During these moments, it is important to remember that growth often happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Just as a seed develops roots before it breaks through the soil, your goals may be taking shape in ways you cannot yet see. Trust the process and remain open to opportunities that appear along the way. Gratitude can be a powerful part of this journey. Take a moment to appreciate where you are right now. Even if your life is not perfect, there are lessons, strengths, and experiences that have brought you to this moment. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present. It helps create a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. As you continue this meditation, imagine a bright light surrounding you. This light represents possibility, renewal, and positive energy. Feel it filling your heart and mind with confidence and hope. Allow it to wash away any remaining fears or doubts. With every breath, feel yourself becoming more aligned with the future you desire. Remember that a fresh start is not something that begins tomorrow, next week, or next year. It begins with the choices you make today. Every positive thought, every intentional action, and every step forward contributes to the reality you are creating. The power to transform your life is already within you. By focusing on your goals, believing in your potential, and remaining open to new opportunities, you strengthen your ability to create meaningful change and move toward the future you envision. Letting go of the past is often the first and most important step toward creating a fresh start. Many people want a new life, new opportunities, and new experiences, yet they continue carrying old fears, regrets, disappointments, and limiting beliefs. These emotional burdens can act like invisible weights, making it difficult to move forward. Manifesting a fresh start is not only about attracting something new into your life, it is also about releasing what no longer serves you. Before you can fully embrace a new chapter, you must create space for it. Every person has experienced challenges, mistakes, and setbacks. Some memories may still carry emotional pain, while others may create feelings of guilt or self-doubt. It is easy to become trapped in thoughts about what should have happened differently. However, constantly focusing on the past can prevent you from recognizing the opportunities that exist in the present moment. The past contains lessons, but it should not become a prison. Growth begins when you accept what has happened, learn from it, and allow yourself to move forward. Meditation can be a powerful tool for this process. When you sit quietly and focus on your breathing, you create an opportunity to observe your thoughts without becoming overwhelmed by them. You may notice old memories or emotions rising to the surface. Instead of resisting them, simply acknowledge them with compassion. Imagine yourself observing these thoughts like clouds passing through the sky. They are present for a moment, but they do not define who you are. This practice helps reduce the emotional attachment that often keeps people stuck in the past. Forgiveness is another important part of creating space for a new beginning. Forgiveness does not mean approving of hurtful actions or pretending painful experiences never happened. Instead, it means choosing to release the emotional burden associated with them. Sometimes this involves forgiving other people. Other times it involves forgiving yourself. Many individuals are far harder on themselves than they would ever be on someone else. They continue replaying mistakes and criticizing themselves long after the lesson has been learned. True healing often begins when you decide that your future is more important than your past errors. A fresh start also requires letting go of limiting beliefs. These are the negative stories people tell themselves, often without realizing it. Thoughts such as, "I am not good enough," "I always fail," or "things never work out for me," can become deeply rooted over time. When repeated often enough, these beliefs begin to shape behavior and expectations. Manifestation encourages you to replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of focusing on weakness, focus on possibility. Instead of expecting failure, allow yourself to believe in growth and improvement. As you release old emotional baggage, you may begin to feel lighter and more hopeful. New opportunities become easier to recognize because your attention is no longer consumed by past disappointments. You become more open to positive experiences, healthier relationships, and new directions in life. Letting go is not about forgetting where you came from. It is about refusing to let old experiences control your future. By releasing what no longer serves you and embracing the present moment with an open heart and mind, you create the foundation for meaningful transformation and a truly fresh start. Visualizing your ideal future with clarity is one of the most powerful parts of manifesting a fresh start. The mind often responds strongly to images, emotions, and imagination, and when you repeatedly focus on a clear vision of what you want, you begin to train your awareness toward that direction. Visualization is not simply daydreaming or wishing for something to happen. It is a focused mental practice that helps you define what you truly desire and align your inner world with that possibility. Many people struggle to manifest change because their desires are vague or unclear. They may say they want a better life, more success, or greater happiness, but they have not taken the time to define what those things actually look like for them personally. Clarity is essential because the mind needs direction. Without clarity, thoughts become scattered, and energy is divided between different possibilities. When you clearly imagine your ideal future, you give your mind a specific target to focus on. Visualization becomes more effective when you engage all your senses. Instead of only seeing images in your mind, try to imagine how your future life feels, sounds, and even smells. Picture yourself waking up in a peaceful environment where you feel safe and motivated. Notice the details around you. What does your daily routine look like? How do you spend your time? Who is present in your life? The more detailed your mental image becomes, the stronger the emotional connection you create with it. Emotion plays a key role in visualization. When you imagine your ideal future, allow yourself to feel the emotions associated with it. If you are visualizing success, feel the excitement and pride of achieving your goals. If you are imagining peace, feel the calmness and stability that comes with it. These emotions act as a bridge between your current reality and the future you desire. They help reinforce the belief that your vision is possible and meaningful. Consistency is also important in this practice. Visualization works best when it becomes a regular habit rather than a one-time exercise. Spending even a few minutes each day focusing on your ideal future can gradually shift your mindset. Over time, your thoughts begin to align more naturally with your vision. You start noticing opportunities that match your goals, and your decisions become more intentional. What once felt distant or impossible may begin to feel more achievable. However, visualization should be balanced with action. While imagining your future is powerful, it must be supported by real-world steps. Manifestation is often described as a combination of inner alignment and outer effort. As you clearly visualize your goals, you may also feel inspired to make changes in your daily life. These changes do not have to be drastic. Small, consistent actions aligned with your vision can create meaningful progress over time. Doubt is something many people experience during this process. It is natural to question whether visualization truly works, especially when results are not immediate. However, doubt does not mean failure. It simply means there is still inner resistance that needs to be understood and released. Continuing your practice despite doubt helps strengthen belief in your vision. The more you focus on possibility rather than limitation, the more your mindset begins to shift. Visualization also helps reprogram negative thought patterns. If you have spent years focusing on limitations or past failures, your mind may automatically default to those patterns. By intentionally visualizing a better future, you begin to create new mental pathways. Over time, these positive images become more dominant, influencing how you think, feel, and act in everyday life. This shift is subtle but powerful, gradually guiding you toward choices that support your desired outcome. As clarity deepens, your ideal future becomes more than just an idea. It starts to feel like a direction you are actively moving toward. Even in uncertain moments, you carry a sense of purpose because you know what you are working toward internally. Visualization does not guarantee instant results, but it helps shape your inner world in a way that supports growth, motivation, and alignment with the life you are trying to create. Aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your goals is a crucial step in manifesting a fresh start, because real transformation happens when your inner world and outer behavior begin to work together. Many people focus only on what they want to achieve, but they overlook the importance of becoming the type of person who naturally moves toward those goals. Alignment means creating harmony between what you think, what you feel, and what you do on a daily basis. Thoughts are the starting point of alignment. The way you think about yourself and your future directly influences your actions. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, or limitation, your behavior will reflect that mindset. On the other hand, when you begin to shift your thoughts toward possibility, growth, and self-belief, your actions naturally start to change. This does not happen instantly, but gradually, as you repeatedly choose more empowering thoughts, your mindset begins to transform. Emotions are equally important because they provide the energy behind your actions. You may have clear goals and positive thoughts, but if your emotional state is constantly negative, unmotivated, or disconnected, it becomes difficult to stay consistent. Aligning your emotions means becoming aware of how you feel throughout the day and gently guiding yourself back toward more supportive states. This does not mean ignoring difficult emotions, but rather learning to respond to them in a balanced way instead of being controlled by them. One effective way to create emotional alignment is through mindfulness. By paying attention to your present experience without judgment, you become more aware of how your emotions influence your behavior. When you notice feelings of fear or resistance, you can pause and refocus your attention. Over time, this helps you build emotional resilience and stability, which are essential for long-term manifestation. Actions are where alignment becomes visible in the physical world. No matter how strong your thoughts and emotions are, they must be supported by consistent action. Even small steps taken regularly can create significant change over time. Actions do not always need to be perfect or large. What matters is consistency and direction. Every action that aligns with your goals reinforces your commitment to your new life. Sometimes people wait for motivation before taking action, but alignment teaches a different approach. Instead of waiting to feel ready, you act in alignment with your vision, and motivation often follows. This creates a cycle where thoughts influence emotions. Emotions influence actions, and actions reinforce new thoughts. Over time, this cycle becomes stronger and more natural. Challenges are an unavoidable part of this process. There will be moments when your thoughts, emotions, or actions feel disconnected from your goals. During these times, alignment does not mean perfection. It means awareness and adjustment. You recognize when you are off track and gently guide yourself back without judgment. This flexibility is important because personal growth is not a straight path, but a continuous process of learning and adapting. As alignment strengthens, you may begin to notice changes in how you experience life. Decisions feel clearer, opportunities become easier to recognize, and your sense of direction becomes stronger. You start to trust yourself more because your inner and outer worlds are no longer in conflict. Instead, they begin to support each other, creating momentum toward the future you are building. Over time, this alignment becomes the foundation of lasting transformation and a more intentional way of living. Aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your goals becomes even more powerful when you understand that consistency is what transforms intention into reality. Many people feel inspired for a short time after learning about manifestation or personal growth, but they struggle to maintain that energy in daily life. Real change does not depend on occasional motivation, it depends on repeated alignment even when you do not feel highly inspired. This is where discipline, awareness, and inner stability play an important role. Thought alignment begins with becoming aware of your inner dialogue throughout the day. Most people have thousands of thoughts running through their mind, many of which happen automatically. If you do not observe your thinking, you may unconsciously repeat negative patterns that weaken your progress. Thoughts such as self-doubt, comparison with others, or fear of failure can quietly influence your decisions. When you begin to notice these patterns, you create the opportunity to change them. Instead of accepting every thought as truth, you start questioning whether it supports the life you are trying to build. Replacing limiting thoughts with constructive ones is not about forcing positivity or ignoring reality. It is about choosing interpretations that empower you rather than weaken you. For example, instead of thinking, "I will never succeed," you can shift toward, "I am learning and improving step by step." This shift may seem small, but repeated consistently, it gradually changes how you perceive yourself and your abilities. Over time, your mindset becomes more supportive, which naturally influences your behavior. Emotional alignment requires a similar level of awareness. Emotions are not obstacles, they are signals that provide information about your internal state. When you feel frustration, fear, or uncertainty, it often indicates that something in your thoughts or environment needs attention. Instead of suppressing emotions, alignment involves acknowledging them and responding with understanding. This allows emotional energy to move rather than become stuck. One important aspect of emotional alignment is learning emotional regulation. This does not mean controlling emotions in a rigid way, but rather developing the ability to return to balance after emotional shifts. Practices such as deep breathing, reflection, or short moments of silence can help stabilize your emotional state. When your emotions are balanced, it becomes easier to make decisions that are aligned with your long-term goals instead of reacting impulsively to temporary feelings. Actions are the final expression of alignment, and they reveal whether your inner work is truly integrated into your life. Many people focus heavily on thinking and visualization, but delay action because they feel unprepared or uncertain. However, aligned action does not require perfect conditions. It requires willingness. Even imperfect steps, when taken consistently, create momentum. This momentum gradually builds confidence, experience, and clarity. Aligned action also means making choices that reflect your priorities. If your goal is personal growth, but you spend most of your time in habits that distract or drain you, there is a misalignment between intention and behavior. Adjusting your actions does not require dramatic change. Often, small adjustments such as improving routines, managing time more intentionally, or reducing distractions can create significant progress over time. Another important aspect of alignment is patience with the process. Many people become discouraged when results do not appear quickly. However, transformation often happens gradually, beneath the surface, before it becomes visible in external circumstances. Just like physical training or learning a skill, progress builds over time through repetition. Trusting this process helps maintain consistency even when immediate results are not obvious. As alignment strengthens, you begin to notice a shift in your overall experience of life. Your decisions become clearer because they are guided by internal clarity rather than confusion. You start to feel more grounded because your thoughts, emotions, and actions are no longer in conflict. Instead, they support each other, creating a sense of direction and stability. This internal harmony also influences how you respond to challenges. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by setbacks, you begin to see them as part of growth. Your emotional resilience increases, and your thinking becomes more solution-focused. Actions become more intentional, and even small efforts feel meaningful because they are connected to a larger purpose. Over time, this alignment becomes a natural way of living rather than a conscious effort. You no longer have to constantly remind yourself to stay focused because your habits, mindset, and emotions begin to operate in the same direction. This integrated state creates a foundation for steady progress and long-term transformation, where your inner world and outer actions continuously support the life you are working to build.